Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I'm your host, Fearless Floyd, and today I have a guest, and I hope I'm pointing the right way. This is Lisa, a good friend of mine and one of my partners in
Hi.
crime. Uh,
Bonnie and Clyde. Okay.
right. You can also find her on my Telegram channel, The Fearless Floyd Show. If you need a link, there'll be a link in the comments below. If you need to reach me, fearlessfloydshow at yahoo.com. Hit that like, subscribe, notification, share this video with all your friends and family. Hopefully this video will give you a enlightenment of what's going on. This has been bandied about with many different terms and phrases. You've heard NESARA, GESARA, the Great Reset, the Revaluation, the Great Jubilee, which is obviously in the scriptures. But what we're going to do is try to explain to you exactly what this is, how it works on a fundamental scale so you can get involved whether you want to or not. You don't even have to believe anything that we say. Neither one of us are licensed bar attorneys or licensed medical doctors by the AMA, so we do not give medical and or legal advice because
Or financial advice. We're not legal financial advisors.
no, no, we do this for
As
fun.
always, do your own research.
Yeah,
That's right.
DYOR.
This is just for fun.
Yeah, just for funs
That's
and
right.
giggles. So, do you want to introduce yourself or tell them a little bit, some background about yourself, maybe, or how long you've been doing this and whatever?
Sure.
Uh-huh.
Sure. Uh, I'm Lisa, and I like to stay a little bit anonymous, but my background is I have a doctorate degree. I'm a naturopath, and I've got into the historical assets as a way to fund humanitarian projects. And one of those humanitarian projects was to create a lot of free healing clinics. And this is when um, I had my first clinic over in Costa Mesa, California. And it was just, a work in progress, and it was blossoming. And I started out, my gosh, like 15 to 17 years ago. And it started out with the Treaty of Versailles boxes, and a lot of you probably have no clue what I'm talking about, but they were called the TOV boxes. There's also Wells Fargo boxes and a lot of other things. So in my journey, I learned about where all of this was leading up to. And it's the NESARA and GESARA. What that is that's the National Economic um, Recovery Act. And then there's the Global Economic Recovery Act. So you can look those up, NESARA, NESARA, or GESARA, GESARA, and you can see what that talks about. So if you're familiar with our last president and how this all correlates, I don't want to say his name. I don't want you to get any strikes on YouTube or anything. So he talked about leveling the economic playing field. And he was talking about how currencies are artificially devalued and they're not really worth what it is. And the trade imbalances are there because their currency is so low. So it makes those countries more of an economic advantage than the USA. So what they're going to do is they're going to level the playing field, just like the previous president talked about. And those currencies that are artificially devalued to create a trade imbalance are going to be brought up to where they're supposed to be. So when this happens, this is going to be called the global reset or the global currency reset. And it's going to make all of the currencies on par where they're supposed to be, according to their intrinsic value for their assets for each country, and where they're supposed to be for their trade. So,
Let me pause you right there.
okay,
When you say assets of the country,
yes.
kind of give a little brief on what that looks like so people can get a kind of a mental picture of what an asset owned by the country or produced by the country would look like.
Okay. Um, assets, gold, silver, um, lithium, nickel, copper, anything material of value that can be traded. Just like when this happens, we will be going back to common law, and our money will be asset backed, backed by gold and silver, like it was prior to 1913 when we were taken off the gold standard.
That includes oil.
That includes oil as well. That's right. Petroleum. Some people think that we are the petrol dollar, being the United States, since we were taken off of gold and silver, but really our money's backed with nothing but hot air. Really, it's worth nothing. Fiat has an intrinsic value of 0 because it's just a debt.
Yeah, debt instrument. Federal Reserve note to note, just like a
Right.
promissory
Debt
note,
instrument.
draft, stock, bond,
Right.
exchange, etc., etc.
Right. Etc.
Okay.
Right. So in 20, go ahead.
No, no, no. Go ahead.
Okay. In 2015, they signed a gold treaty with about 120 countries so far.
Who's
And one
who's they? You said they signed it.
120, oh, okay, I'm sorry. About 120 different countries signed the gold treaty. And one of the signatories to that gold treaty is about a man by the name of Michael Cottrell. And you can see and hear, well, not see, but you can hear Michael Cottrell speak with Mark Z. He has a YouTube show, and Scotty and I have a sheet with links on it that you can go ahead and see where all these people are. You can do your own research, and that's what we advise, that you do your own research. So Michael Cottrell comes on the Mark Z show on Fridays if you want to see that. And the link will be in Scotty's Telegram. So what we're going to talk about now is only 3 of the options available. We're going to talk about 3 options. There's many more options available, but we just want to stick with the basic 3. Okay. And that is 1, the Iraqi dinar. That's one of the currencies that's purportedly set to revalue. Now, they were devalued during the war, and they're going to revalue just like Kuwait did. Okay. So this is a 25,000 Iraqi dinar note. Okay. And you'll see it. It has black light features. So when you hold it up to a black light, you can see different watermarks and different markings on it. And you can find them on the links provided in Scotty's Telegram room. And here is a smaller note. It's a 250 dinar note. Now, the pre-war value on these was $3.47. And when they reinstate their currency, they will reinstate it at approximately the same amount. So when you purchase a 25,000 note, you might spend $25, $30, $40 for it. But when it revalues or goes back to its old former glory days, you take that amount and you multiply it by $3.47, if that's what it comes out to be. So 25,000 times 347. So you're at about $85,000 for a very small and nominal investment. Oh, let's see. Now, as far as who is invested in the Iraqi dinar, there's lots of people, millions of people. And it started back when they destroyed the currency, because the USA goes into countries, they destroy their currency through war or global economic war, and it becomes artificially lower. The countries go in, they buy up their currency, they buy up their assets, and then they go ahead and revalue. Oh, okay, you just changed the screen. And then they revalue it. So the US Treasury, Warren Buffett, and our previous president are all investors in this Iraqi dinar. Now you might go through and say, oh, I heard about that. That's a scam, whatever, whatever. Well, they did the same exact thing to Kuwait. Kuwait, they went in, they had a war, they devalued their currency, and you know, what do you know? Their power is not even on, and they revalued their currency, and it went back to $3, three and a quarter. So if you bought up their currency when it was worthless, and they revalued it, now you have millions of dollars that you bought for pennies, sometimes even fractions of pennies. So here we go. That's the Iraqi dinar. And the government of Iraq and the central bank of Iraq, they all have news articles coming out that are talking about this. So if you look at the CBI.IQ, which is the website for the central bank of Iraq, you'll see news articles. All you have to use is Google Translate, and you can translate the articles and read them for yourself. Okay. Same thing with any type of news. You can do Al Jazeera. You can do any type of Iraqi news that's coming out. They're all talking about revaluing the Iraqi dinar. So please read it for yourself. And there's multiple links in Scotty's Telegram room. It's going to be pinned at the top where you can do your own research. I'm just introducing this to you so that you can be part of it as well. So let's get on to Vietnam. I am sure that many of you have had relatives that have been to Vietnam. This is the Vietnamese Dong. Can you see it, Scotty? Okay,
Yeah, it's real small.
that's okay.
Let me unshare the screen.
No,
So
no, no.
go ahead. There you go.
Oh, okay. So this is the Vietnamese Dong. This is what it looks like. This is a 500,000 note. Okay. All right. And
And they're
that was a
not
big note.
made. They're not made like the United States fiat currency, the U.S. dollar. They're like a
Right,
polymer plastic, very durable.
right. And
Uh,
see right there, this here is a little transparent.
window.
So window, thank you.
Mhm.
Um, and they come in different denominations. All denominations are valid. Um, and the
And
only
they're
thing that's going to differ is the next one.
and
I'm sorry, go ahead.
well, the Iraqi dinar and the newer currency, as well as actually the U.S. fiat currency, the U.S. dollars, doesn't matter what denomination. Our currency's kind of blasé when you start looking at some of these other countries' currencies. Iraq, Vietnam, very colorful, very pretty.
Yeah,
Venezuela,
right.
Venezuela has some pretty ones
Red,
as well.
green, blue.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
very pretty.
yeah.
Right.
Straight monopoly money,
Exactly.
except brighter, much brighter.
Right.
Absolutely.
Much brighter.
Yeah.
Right. And Vietnam, why is Vietnam going to bring their currency up in value? Because they have a lot of oil in their country. They've got precious metals and gems and everything else. So they also have a lot of assets for currency that's, cheaper than toilet paper, really. When you look at it, you can buy a million Iraqi dinar. The current going rate on that is around $60 a million. So if you spend $60 a million and the purported revaluation rate on that, or reinstituted rate, including inflation, because that happened like what, 55, 58 years ago. So when you look at, just catching up to today's standards, what the money would be worth, we're looking at about two and a quarter. And that is the purported rate that the dong is going to go to. So if you're going to spend, $60 to get 1 million of the Vietnamese dong, which is the correct way to pronounce it, but it's dong in English, if you're going to pronounce it phonetically. for $60-$70, you can have $2 million, I mean, with the rate of $2 per 1 USD. And that is absolutely life changing. I know that there's a lot of people out there that really need a blessing. They need help financially. And this is why Scotty and I are making this video. We
Floyd,
want you to have this blessing just like we're going to enjoy it. So let's move on to the Zim. Okay, so you
okay,
got that Zim up
hang
there?
on.
Yep. Okay, I see
Most
it.
most most people on here don't know me as Scotty, and Scotty's my nickname
Oh, okay.
because I know you keep calling me that. Because there are four Floyd Pleasant Tarvins, and I'm the fourth. So as you know, holidays or you yell Floyd, and we all turn around and look. So we all have nicknames. Mine
Right.
happens to be Scotty, which is no big deal. I do also go by Floyd. I earned the nickname, the moniker Fearless Floyd. So anyway, when she's saying Scotty, she's actually talking about me. The only people who really know me by Floyd are YouTube people out here and cops and courts.
Yeah.
Sadly, they know me well. Uh, so anyway,
All right. So let's
just
go ahead and talk about the Zim.
right. Hang on before we get
Okay.
there.
All right.
Now, the dinar and the dong, are basically currencies, and you don't call
Yes.
them one Iraqi dollar. They are dinars. They're not dollars. You don't put a dollar sign in front of it, and I don't know exactly what the icon or symbol would be um, for that Iraqi dinar or the dong, and they're called dong, not dollars. Now, the Zimbabwe is actually a dollar. So you can call these dollars.
Right.
And they do have an actual dollar sign, actually the peso sign in front of them. For most of you who don't understand peso and a dollar sign, a dollar sign is a U with an S on it. And that's the original US currency. And it got cut off at the bottom, so it just had two bars. And then back in, when the Federal Reserve took over, they turned it into a peso with one bar in the S. So that's kind of the historical concept on the symbolism for the dollar. Now, she's going to get into the dollar, and you're going to look at this, crazily hyperinflated currency denomination, 10 trillion Zimbabwe dollars. And this is my story how I stumbled into this because I knew her before I even knew anything about all this, and of course I've heard of NESARA, GESARA, the Great Jubilee, Reset, all that. Didn't really pay any attention to it as I should have because I remember back in the day when Bitcoin first came out, and I was like, oh
Yeah, me
man,
too.
yeah, the Federal Reserve's never going to let that fly. They're not going to let some snotty nosed little brat come in and kick sand in their face in their own sandbox and start dealing out toys for the other kids to play with. Because having read The Creature from Jekyll Island and The High Priest of Treason, yeah, I didn't think that was going to be a viable asset because, of course, I was in the law library and I was running across some of these cases where these guys were printing their own currency, i.e., coins, and trying to get it to make traction, and feds locked them up and threw them in the federal prison system. So anyway,
Right.
uh, some friends of mine own a currency coin shop, historical artifacts, high-end jewelry, artwork. Like they have a ton of blue dogs in there. You want Rolex, Cartier, whatever they got all that anyway. So I went in there to buy some junk silver, some coins, and looked down the display case and saw this $10 trillion Zimbabwe dollar. And I was like, oh, hey, that's pretty cool. So I went, took care of my business, came back, and I stopped and really looked at it. And I was like, you know what? That'd be cool to buy a couple of these and put them in a frame, the front and back, hang it on the wall,
Right.
conversation piece. And I tell, hey, look, I'm a trillionaire. I got $1 trillion right here. Here, you want to hold it? And
Right. It was
so
a
I took,
novelty.
yeah, so I took pictures of it and sent it, to her. to Lisa, and she goes, "Oh my God, you're in currency!" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" So basically, what she's breaking down to you guys right now, she broke down to me, but in more detail. And yeah, um, it's a thing, folks. So, all right, let's move
Right,
on.
exactly. And, once you get so many people that have poo-pooed the idea or don't believe it or are just too blue-pilled to pull their head out of their orifice to wake up and actually smell the fresh air and see what's actually going on, it there's not a whole lot you can do. If people want to stay where they're at and have their blinders on, just let them. There's not
Yeah,
much you can do.
yeah.
Right. And,
You know,
as the years have gone on, I've had friends that, dab, okay, well, I'll, buy a million dong. It's only $50 or whatever. And then, the years go on, they're like, and I'm like, well, you're not doing your own research. You're not keeping up with the news articles that are coming out. So you really don't know the timeline. So, you just keep coming to me, asking me for the information, and you're not reading it and digesting it like you should be, knowing what the timeline is and what the steps are, what's going on with the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, what's going on with the United Nations, what's going on with the World Bank. I've done all that. I've done all my research. I keep up on these news articles. I am a smart investor. I'm not just going to say, oh, well, okay, do this, do that, and I'll do it. No, I did my own research, and that's what everybody else needs to do. And we are helping you out, making it easier for you. You still have to do your own reading and your own research, but we're providing the links for you to make it easier and faster because Iraq is coming out. The government of Iraq, as soon as they seat their president, they're talking about revaluing the currency to the former glory days. And the same thing with the Central Bank of Iraq. They're both on the same page. They're both saying the same thing at the same time. They're both talking about it. It's ready to go. So, um, and the only thing I wanted to make mention when you were going over the currencies is there's a lot of different Middle Eastern countries that use a dinar. So it's going to be an Iraqi dinar. Kuwait already revalued. So you don't want to buy that one. It's not going to be that good of a deal. Okay. All right. So now getting on to Zimbabwe. Oh, you just took it off. Can you still see my
oh,
Zimbabwe here?
yeah. Hang on. I want to talk real quickly about the oil reserves by country,
Okay.
just so it kind of gives them a mental picture of exactly what we're talking about. Okay. These are
Okay.
this is the world O meters. Okay, and I'm kind of doing your homework for you. So you can go to this. I just put in oil reserves by country. This is
Hmm.
what pops up, and this is in 2016, and you can see Venezuela has almost 300 billion barrels of oil reserves, and then there's
Yep.
Saudi Arabia with 266, Canada, Iran, Iraq. So right here, here's Iraq, who we're talking about.
Hmm.
Now, what's a barrel of oil today? Probably
It's
100,
$120. Last night it was
$120,
119.
right?
Hmm.
And they're selling it by petrodollars. And for those of you who don't, that's why they call the U.S. currency the petrodollar, world reserve currency, because all oil has to be traded oil
Right.
for dollars. And that was the deal that we made with all these oil-rich countries who didn't have the manpower. Well, they had the manpower. They didn't have the technical skill or the funding or the ability, engineers, to pump the oil out of the ground and transport it and then refine it, make it into a sellable product. So part of the
Hmm.
deal for all of these worldwide oil companies like which was Humboldt at the time, which is now ExxonMobil, um, British Petroleum, Shell, et cetera, that to go in there and pump this oil out of the ground, the deal was, wink, wink, nod, nod, you know, back backroom deals, was that the oil would be traded through the U.S. dollar, and that way the United States would always be, at the top of the mountain. And as you know, Saudi Arabia is trying to sell their oil right now for the Chinese yuan. Russia's doing the same thing. They want to sell theirs
Right.
in rubles. That's another currency right there. Um, so basically, if you go down this list, the majority of these companies, there's Vietnam,
Hmm.
majority of these top mm, uh, 50 companies, let's just say that, or 50 countries are going to be in this reevaluation. Uh, so I'm just going to leave it at there. Go do your own research. So let me stop share. Okay, there you go. Probably not. Yeah, when I get it over
All
my head.
right. All right. Well, and that's right. Not everybody knows that the United States makes these oil rich countries first buy United States dollars to go ahead and trade their own oil. And that is such a scam. They make money on the front end, on the back end, and on the oil. So when you understand about buying and selling currencies, um, you're not going to buy it for the same price that the dealer, the currency dealer, the Forex dealer gets it for, because of course it's a commodity. He's going to sell it, he's going to make a little bit of a profit, and that's how they stay in business. Always the better buy is if you can find it at a bank, but recently, well, within the last couple of years, they stopped selling the Iraqi Dinar at banks, they stopped selling the Vietnamese Dong at banks, and that was just recently. And so let's keep moving on here. I want to stay on topic because I have an agenda written out. So this here is a $10 trillion Zim note. And that was at the bottom of the page that Fearless Floyd had for you. Okay. And this also, when you hold it up to a black light, it's got different water markings and features on it. And it's going to have a serial number at the bottom and on the side. Right there on the side, it's in red, and at the bottom. And make sure you buy it from a genuine company. You might want to be a little cautious if you're going to buy something off of eBay. Research who the seller is, and if they're going to guarantee it, if they're going to take returns, if they have black light photos of what their inventory is to show you that it's not counterfeit. That's what you want to do. Now, with the $10 trillion notes, they purportedly are going to revalue at about $3 million. And you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, right. What kind of a crazy scheme is that? How can I buy a $10 trillion note? I don't even know what the current price is on a $10 trillion note. Do you know?
They are running right now about $20, $20 to $30 for a 10 trillion. And then if you buy
Okay.
100 trillion, either 250s or 100 trillion note or 10 tens, they're anywhere. They've gone up.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
about 190
So it's about 20, $25.
roughly.
Okay. So that's what it is. I mean, for, the price of dinner, you could buy yourself one of these and hold on to it for a little while. Now, that's what's going to be cash in your pocket. Now, remember how I talked in the beginning of this video about humanitarian projects? And that's what I was originally involved in doing free clinics for people that needed help. So with the Zim, now the Zim, even though it's $1, it
Okay,
says
now
it's
hang on. As you're showing that, let's clarify for them what year,
okay.
what series of Zimbabwe dollar that they need to get, because not all of them are the same.
That's right. That's right.
So let's
This here
clarify.
is it's the 2008. Okay. So there you go. It's the 2008 series. So now with the Zim dollar, it's actually a bond. It's a bearer bond. It says pay to the bearer. So this gets treated a little bit differently. With the bonds, you can fund humanitarian projects. So let's say that you also want to do good for the community. You want to do a humanitarian project, or you've got a great economic project that can employ a lot of people, or both, a combination of both, which is what my girlfriend and I have been planning and working on for years. And that is taking people like single moms or people getting out of jail. Because, my girlfriend's son, he got out of jail and he had a really hard time getting a job, or homeless people or veterans, and giving them a place to live, like in a hotel, and working inside that hotel so that they get on the job training, or taking single moms and, doing whatever they like to do so that they can stay at home and raise their kids and work from home and still make a good living. And if you're a single mom or homeless or anything, and you got $20 or however much money, um, you can go ahead and fund your own business just by having one of these. Um, you'll end up getting cash to walk away with in your pocket and funding a humanitarian project, and that can be your very own business, whether it's economic, as long as it's gainful employment for yourself and, who knows, your family members, your friends, your community, however you want to make your little world or your little area better in life for those around you. Okay, so that has two aspects to it. One, when it revalues, you get a certain amount of upfront money that's liquid and spendable. And on the other side, if you have a humanitarian project, that can also be funded as well. Now, it has to be a legitimate humanitarian project. I used to be the intake person for the projects, and I kind of stopped after a while after I gotten so many of them. So, Scotty, do you have anything else you want to say on that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Let me get my train of thought back. Okay. Yeah, now I know where I was at. All right.
Okay.
So, roughly the dinar, you can pick up a million dinar for about 1,100 bucks. You can get 30 million dong
Yeah.
for about $1,000 bucks. You can get the Zims, 20 bucks a pop for a $10 trillion note, 200 for 100 trillion. So what I try to
Right.
tell people,
Well,
what,
Scotty, let's tell people like more realistic, because not everybody has $1,000 to spend. So
right,
I'm going to give you
that's
the version of $100. Let's just stick with $100, maybe
right.
125 at the most. I'll give them my version. You give them your vision on what you would spend it on. Okay. So there is an opportunity or a chance that the Iraqi dinar might go before some of the other currencies in the global economic reset, because there's a huge amount of currencies that's going to reset all at once. So the Iraqi dinar was always supposed to go first, and that was kind of like what they call the linchpin, quote unquote. So I personally would buy a 25,000 note. So that might cost you $30. Okay. So that's one. Buy yourself a million of the Vietnamese Dong. That's going to cost you $60, something like that. And then your 10 trillion note, that'll cost you around $20. So if you want to be diversified with three different countries and their countries, the assets in that country, and partake in something like this for $100, right in that ballpark, that's what I would do. I'm not giving financial advice. I am not a licensed broker. I am not benefiting off of you buying anything. I don't own, or I'm not affiliated with any of these companies that, we put at the top of the Telegram room. They're just there for you for convenience so that you can look at it, compare prices, look at the information. And there are also some news aggregating sites that makes it easier for you so that you don't have to look at all the Iraq news and translate it on Google. That's called Dinar Recaps, and it's dinarrecaps.com/our blog.
I'll
And
show that.
also,
I'll show that.
yeah, we got that all on the list for you, made it really easy. And there's another one called Dinar Chronicles. Those are news aggregating sites. Also, someone that I have learned from. His name is Frank 26. He has boots on the ground over there in Iraq. He's got friends that have banks, families that are in business over there. He gets firsthand information that is second to none. I mean, he knows the information before it even comes out in print. So, yeah, he's on YouTube. You can find him. It's the Frank 26 channel. It's also going to be in the links that we're going to provide for you. The other one is the original Mark Z. You can get him on YouTube. His other channel is called the Trolling News Network, in case they, put him in YouTube jail for a week or two. That's the other channel. It's his backup channel where you can find him.
He's also on Rumble,
So,
also on Twitch.
yes, he's on Rumble. He's on Twitch. He's on Twitter. Yeah, you can find Mark Z just about anywhere.
Yeah, Patriot People's Network, right? PPN.
Yes, right. PPN.
Okay.
Right.
Now this is
Now, give us your version of what you would get for $100.
well, for $100, you can actually go on this website right here. Let me highlight it. This website,
Which one is
safetynar.com.
that? Oh,
Safe.
yeah.
You can purchase 10,000 notes, so 100,000 dinar. These are actually uncirculated. They don't have now in this game. There's no difference between circulated and uncirculated. Actually, you
Correct.
want circulated because you're probably going to get it at a lower purchase price, than uncirculated, because uncirculated is for collectors, people who want to hold on to it and admire, its pristine condition. That's not what this is about. You are a speculator in currency. You're not a collector. So make sure you have the delineation between those two. So anyway, on Safe Dinar, you can pick up 100,000 dinar for $115.
Well,
Um,
that's only one currency. I
right.
mean, if they only had $100 to spend, how would you spend it if you only had $100 to spend?
If I had $100 to spend,
Right. Remember, you and I went over the same
yeah,
conversation when
uh-huh,
I was telling you about it, and I was
right,
giving you the different options. And I told you, if it were me, this is how I would do it. And I gave you the information, and then you looked at what you could afford, and then you went ahead and you bought what you wanted.
right.
So if you only had $100, what
Uh-huh.
would you get? Because I want these, single parents, these veterans, the disabled, the handicapped, the senior citizens, those on limited income, to say, okay, $100, yeah, I can either borrow that from my parents, or, get that, or, sell the golf clubs that are in the garage, and I can get $100. $100 is feasible. $1,000 is kind of like out of the realm for so many people right
Sure. Yeah, I get that. And I'm going to explain to you why I would invest it this way. All right.
now. Okay.
It's publicly known that Iraq wants to reevaluate their currency. They're they're
Right.
they're like, the citizens are fixing to go riot in the streets, allegedly, what, April 1st, April 4th,
Yes, sir. April 1st.
right, to reevaluate their currency, because every
Right.
time they sell a barrel of oil, they're losing millions of dollars. Okay.
Right.
I mean, millions of dollars. It's crazy what they're losing every day because they haven't revalued their currency.
Yeah.
So they're clearly been trying to seek their government for the last month, if not longer.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that is public knowledge. So we know that they want to reevaluate their currency at the old rate, which we already know because it's a historical fact. That's not going to change, which
Right.
is roughly about what, $3.15, something like that.
326, 347, somewhere in there.
There you
Yeah.
go. We'll just round it off to $3. Okay.
Right.
So if you make a minimal investment in dinar, more likely than not, you're going to get an immediate return on that because we
Right.
know that that's going to revaluate. So, and we haven't even gone into the tiers of how this RV is going to be paid out.
No, let's keep it simple.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
But for them who don't know everything yet, you'll be able to just walk into your bank and exchange your dinar for $3 and whatever we're just going to say $3, round it off there. For $3,
Right.
they're going to give you three US
Mm-hmm.
dollars back. Okay. And if at the time the United States has transferred over, you're going to get a US Treasury note, not a US dollar. So that's
Well,
another.
they're going to have to, because as soon as they the treasurer, not the treasurer, I'm sorry, the signatory, Mike Cottrell,
Mhm.
puts the codes in for the gold treaty to be activated, then those currencies will be asset backed,
Mhm.
and we will be on the quantum, or the new financial system.
Quantum Financial System, QFS,
Right.
which
Mm-hmm.
and that's what he's putting the
That's
code
right.
in to that
That's right.
system
That's
for the
going
United
to
States.
unlock the chains. So, let's just say unlock the chains on the gold, and then the gold will back the currencies on all these different countries that are part of the gold treaty.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Think we just got a little bit over everybody's head, but just for now, don't even worry about that.
Right.
Let's just focus
Right.
on what we're trying to do here. Okay, next, you have the Vietnamese Dong. So, Vietnamese Dong is going to give you an immediate payout, money in your pocket, as well as the dinar. It's valued obviously less at $2. However, the payout, the exchange rate is greater because you can buy more Dong at a lower cost than you can the dinar. And then
Right.
we have the Zimbabwe dollar. And
Right.
that goes into a whole nother aspect. But what she told you is you're going to get some of that money up front. And how that works, you're going to get 1% when you go into your exchange. 7 to 10 days later, you're going to get another 9%. And in 30 days, you're going to get an additional 20%. So you're going to get 30% of that up front, or if not all of it, depending on how much you have. So my own personal investment would be I would spend 20, $25 and get me one Zimbabwe dollar.
I agree. Go ahead.
And then I would split the difference between these two, whatever I had left over, whether it be eight
Okay.
dollars or 70 or whatever that looks like. And then
Right. So $125, right in there. If they only want to buy one 500K or half a million, Vietnamese, they can do the math. I mean, 125 bucks right in there.
yeah, this is let's
Yep.
just say that's going to cost you $25.
Yeah.
And then
So yeah, they get the gist of it.
yeah,
Yep.
that's what I would do. I would diversify
Right.
that way. Because that's big. That's life changing money right there for almost everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I read yesterday that I think 10% of the United States has a net worth of greater than $90,000, which means there's 90%.
10%.
Yeah, 10%.
Oh,
I don't know
I'm
how true that
surprised it's
is.
that much.
I did. Yeah, well, that's what I read. So yeah, this is life changing money
Hmm.
for you. The dong,
Absolutely.
most of this it'll change the way you aspect. Now I'm going to give you this caveat: with great wealth comes great responsibility. Just because you get this
Yes.
money, ching ching, I hit the lottery. Uh, you need to go get you a wealth manager and have them
Yes.
help you manage this money because if you've never had a lot of money, you're going to have a propensity to go batshit crazy. Sorry. It
Right.
happens.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
And, there are some people who might be doing really good right now because with whatever issues that they have in life, because they can't afford to feed their whatever addiction that they have. So let's say, somebody was a former, drug addict or something, and all of a sudden they come into like this boatload of money and they're like, oh, well, I'm just gonna have one last big hoorah and, go get me a big salad bowl full of cocaine and, just party it up one last time. So
Hookers and
you
blow.
really, yeah. I mean, people will do crazy things like this. I can just see it happening, I mean, because I've been in this so long, I've heard, men talk about, oh, well, I'll just, rent a yacht, me and my buddies, and we'll get a whole bunch of hookers and, party it up and have a good time with, the best of champagne and everything else. So, you really got to have your demons in check and your priorities in place before, you know, so you don't self-sabotage yourself. There's so many people out there who, while they might be book smart, they don't have a good emotional IQ. They don't know how to manage themselves on a personal level, on an emotional level, to keep their demons locked in a closet, to be able to battle with their own addictions and their own problems in life. I mean, nobody's perfect. So, I can see when this happens that there's going to be a lot of relationships that are going to fall apart. There's going to be, it's just going to be kind of like,
That's already happening because,
yeah, I know it is.
yeah,
It's going to be a beginner's curve. People are going to go, like you said, batshit crazy. They're going to do stupid stuff. They're going to go out. They're going to drink. They're going to, you know, do all kinds of bad behavior, because they're not emotionally mature or have the emotional IQ to say, okay, this is what I need to do. I first need to plan and, make sure my kids are taken care of, the college, the house, everything, have a budget in place first before you get the money. I can't stress that enough. Make sure you have a living trust and, make sure that you give your kids accordingly, but your wealth manager was going to get into that. I didn't want to get into that for you, but, you know, anyways, just make sure that you are dealing with this blessing because it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. And if you just blow it away up your nose or any other way you would do that, um, that would be really sad. So, be a good servant. Um, God's blessing you with this. And, when the master comes back and says, what did you do with the money that I gave you? And you're going to say, well, I blew it up my nose or I had a party on a yacht with a bunch of hookers, it was just one last hurrah. But the thing is that's what you tell yourself to be able to have that one last hurrah. You want to not be able to have that last hurrah and stay strong. So, yeah, for any of you that have vices out there, just keep your head in check and on your shoulders. So, with that being said, if there are any of the single moms or single dads, whatever the case may be, or homeless people or veterans or disabled or whatever. If you truly and legitimately don't have a means to obtain a 10 trillion, hold on, where did I have it? It's over here, my pile of monopoly money. If you legitimately don't have a means to obtain a Vietnamese Dom note or a Zim note, um, I would be happy for, a handful, let's say five people who legitimately can't afford it. I would be happy to donate it to you. Okay. So just hit up Fearless Floyd at the Fearless Floyd Show on Telegram, and I would be happy to donate you some money. Some of this Vietnamese Dom or Zimbabwe. Absolutely. I've been invested for a long time and I'm happy to share.
Here's the Iraqi dinar. This is the $25,000 note. And this is like probably the most
Mm-hmm.
common, I would say.
Yeah, it is. It's the most common. That and the pretty green 10,000 one.
Yeah, let me pop
Yeah,
that one up.
right.
And
There you go.
actually, these images do not do this currency justice because they are much more handsome
Yeah,
than what they show. Here's the 5,000. Which, yeah, you see the different pretty lavenders and pinks and purples and
right.
vibrant peach and yeah, just
Yeah,
really, really, really pretty currency. And they're different sizes.
they are. Yeah, the Iraqi dinar, it's different sizes. Like the 250 note is much smaller than the 25K note.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird. The dong is different sizes as well.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the $500,000 note.
Yep.
And that's actually these little transparent windows.
Right. Yeah, that
Yeah,
dark blue, that's a transparent window.
yeah. And
Yep.
this is actually a very bland image of what this currency looks like because it really pops, especially that pink in the background. But you can see the
Right.
detail in the background. These are just like really pretty notes. Like 200,000 and the 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
And they use the same guy on all their currency,
Mm-hmm.
wherever he is.
Yeah.
And 50,000. Now you can go on eBay, Amazon, Etsy, you know, some of those you're going to find licensed treasury
Yep.
licensed currency resellers. And you want to, as
Right.
well, research your seller and make sure that they are bona fide, that they have
Right.
tons of good reviews, positive reviews, that there's no issues with the currency that you're receiving or the shipment or the packaging. I
Right.
can recommend some, but I'm not going to. Try
Well,
to,
we gave them a list that they can choose from. They have to do their own research, their own shopping,
yeah.
you know.
And for
Yeah.
five of you, excuse me, five
That's
of you,
right. Bye, reviews.
five of you people. Hang on, let me get over there.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, and better yet, if you have a humanitarian project that you want to do or an economic project, then I'd be happy to donate one of the Zim notes to you. So this way you walk out, you got cash in your pocket and you got money to create your own business or your own humanitarian project. So please submit your humanitarian project or your economic project, whatever it is. Let me look at it. Okay. And we'll see where it goes. I mean, if you need a lot more, you know, I'd be happy to go ahead and fund it out of my own personal uh, blessing. So,
and this is my Telegram channel up here, Fearless Floyd Show.
right, show them where it's pinned at, right at the top.
What am I showing them here?
Okay.
There's all kind of stuff pinned up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of you who follow my channel, you already know what's going on. But I'm over here.
Right.
There's some good stuff, good videos, good information.
Right.
I usually don't plug people, but if you're into like some EDM, trance, really chill music, this is a buddy of mine from school, Ryan Stovall. He's on Mixcloud. Check him out, man. Some really, really, really good stuff. He's got, I don't know, like 80 different mix sets on there.
Okay.
Check him out. Um, all right, let me stop the share.
Okay.
Have we gone over everything that we need to go over?
I think so. Yeah. And I kind of have to run right now. So
Okay.
I will be in the Telegram room. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. You can direct message me. Um, and if you can't find me in Floyd's room, Floyd can point you out, point me out to you. So
Yeah,
not a problem. You'll be able to find me.
and in the Telegram room, there's a chat room at the top. Generally,
Hmm.
it's open 24/7. You jump on if you want to jump on it right now. I'm sure Jesse's in there waiting for you. Jesse's my co-producer. And there's other people that'll jump on. They may not be in there, but they're like paying attention. So
Right.
hit the like button, subscribe,
That's right.
notification bell, share this
Thumbs up.
video. And for all of you who would like a kind gift from my friend Lisa here, or down there, wherever she's at, go to the Telegram, man. Hit it up. That's a
That's
deal.
right.
Yeah, that's a deal you can't refuse, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. I want to thank Lisa for being on my show. Hopefully, she'll come back on. We'll do some more topics, maybe about some naturopath stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, she's very knowledgeable. She's given me some sound opinions. I'm not going to say advice uh,
Right. Okay.
regarding health. So,
There we go.
yeah, right. Okay. Well, thank you, Lisa. I'll let you go and
Right.
get on to your
Okay.
beautiful day in sunny,
That's right.
cloudless Houston, Texas on this fabulous, today's
All
Wednesday.
right.
All right. Hump day. Get out there and hump it.
That's right. Wednesday.
Yep.
See you later. Bye.
Okay. Bye, kids. Thank you, Lisa.